And here we are, Tiger and AJ, for the last time in the year 2024 with our annual visit to Arosa and Switzerland. Welcome to my stream. This is Tiger, and there is CD Radar. Milele, he says. I don't know what that actually means. Maybe it is connected with the upcoming change of year. I hope it is something nice, so I just wanted to return this greeting. And I have not powered up Trains in World 5 in quite some time. So it will take me a bit to get used to it again. I've been playing SimRail all the time. Still trying to figure out what is wrong with the ETCS and the Peter-Molinis, and if you want to check out a last video in the comments, there is actually a bit that improved things if you compare it to what the video was about. So how to couple up the Peter-Molinis, how to get the second train set to pitch in. And Juniper, hello, hey, good night, new week, new stream, and soon enough a new year. Trains in World 5, Arosa line, I think I've got even the version correct, and I want to look into the aggregates pack. I have not touched it yet, I've picked it up on the Christmas sale, and I've seen that there is a journey connected with it. Here, Arosa line freight pack called aggregates pack with 2 new liveries for the GE 442. And Juniper is really considering picking up Frankfurt Fulda plus Flixtrain now on sale. I should definitely say Frankfurt Fulda is something that you should have in your portfolio. And the Flixtrain one, yeah. I'm still not so super convinced that this was a big add-on for the deluxe edition, but it definitely looks nice with all those green cars and the green Vectron on sale. So what are we gonna play? I have not decided yet. I have not looked into any one of those missions. Just want to have Vectron passenger driving. Yeah, I can understand that. And it's nice to have 3 different Vectrons. I just don't really like the color of the second screen in the Flixtrain Vectron. What Will told me on the forum is it's prototypical, but I still don't like this grayish blue. It looks somehow off. Well, if you don't know what to do, just pick the ones with the highest difficulty now. Assemble a freight formation at Chur, then head up to the aggregate terminal. Drop off 2 empty voodoo wagons at St. Peter-Molinis en route. Let's see where this takes us. On SimRail forums they are discussing about ETCS balises being read in the wrong sequence and being a bug, so not necessarily connected with the double traction. And CD Radar, you were right with your spring brake on the Pendolino. There is a spring brake on every bogie, at least you can see it if you look at the train from outside. Dispatcher, welcome to Chur. Start off your day assembling a freight train. On your way uphill, you will decouple 2 wood wagons at the siding at St. Peter-Molinis and continue your journey to the aggregate terminal at Arosa. Climb aboard the bus, probably. Since I have killed the markers, this is always like... Where is my marker? Here it is. Where's the next marker? Climb up the ladder. Sit in the driver's seat. Set the master key to on. Set the reverser to forward. Set the vacuum brakes to release. Set the loco brakes to release. Really? Need to have more room. Go! No. No lights. No nothing. No safety stuff. There was dead man switch that we have to use. It's not really a lot, but I want some lights. Rear lights. Make them red for now. Warning lights? No, not the warning lights. Headlights. Hello, Theodorus. Nice to see you here. What do we have here? 20. Govia. We don't even have any lights on halfway. Contact the signaler. Well. What the fuck? Why did we go that fast? Well, I'm still looking for the lights. Maybe that one? Ah, yeah. That looks better. Mind this interesting coupling that we have here. Middle buffer and 2 chain links. And aufdrücken with this jump start locomotive is a bit of a tricky thing. Does not start with still I want to have it end in a correct position. It does not work. Good thing that the coupling guy can just pull it together here. Prepare to switch caps. Shut down the caps, it says. For that we typically use full service. Release the loco brakes, otherwise we can't release it from the other end. Neutral. Lights probably off. Also the Deadman switch neutral. And sit in the driver's seat on the other side. Now we don't need rear lights. We have only the locomotive. Headlight selected too, is that still what we want? Looks acceptable. Juniper says totally need to go back to Arosa next summer, so beautiful. Yes, go ahead. Theodoros, something about wrecked locomotive pulling trains in snows. Real Santa sleigh. Yeah, that's true. We just sent all the reindeers home. Release goes into the other direction. Get my vacuum brakes up. Vakuum Hauptleitung. Otherwise we won't be able to start this train. Signals on the left in Switzerland. Also goes for the shunting signals. Why was the local brake unreleased? $30 already, alright. And we have to stop at Chur. Well, so much for that. And I asked the dispatcher, and he said, proceed as signals indicate. Well, obviously there was a signal that indicated otherwise. So we can try again. Shunting is really something sometimes tricky in Arosa. Oh no, I did not follow the markers. Now I collected all my invisible markers. So. Why no knights? Switched back. 2 I want. 2. This signal here is open. I can shunt through that one. That is for this red signal here that we're shunting through. I should use the local brake. They have such a steep decline into their sidings here at Chur. So maybe I can stop this train now without having this big bump. And getting kicked backwards. It's still almost impossible for me at least. But so it works. Prepare to switch cabs. That means we can turn off the lights again. Can get the vacuum brake to full, not necessarily emergency, but this is one of the old things where you switch into emergency quite easily. Neutral. And off. So let's see what signals indicate. This one at least was open. So, what is the red signal that we are supposed to stop in front of? Still have to go like 35 meters. Ah, here we actually see it. This one was the culprit. Coupled to formation, we're not going further, we're getting more cars, as it seems. Going backwards, let's check if we have to set any switches for that. Seems to be already set for us. Also in Switzerland everything is called like the German system, SH1. Need a shunter on the back for that, I guess. Let's put Hank here. See how many handbrakes he has. Is Rev 1 not a problem for us? Interesting, it looks still red. But is supposed to show aspect as H1. Ah, here at the At the bottom, there it is. Good. Let's see how this works without getting bumped back again. Yes! This is what I want to see. This one is not for us, the left one is for us. Theodoro says very correctly, white light signals against snow background, got to be careful indeed, yeah. This is why in real life it is a great thing to actually know where those signals are that you have to look out for. Now the signal is open that I missed with the first try. Here starts at 20. Here's one of the passenger services that wants to do the runaround. We'll still go via, and still 20 here. I'm still looking forward to the first Japanese DLC in Train Sim World. This one, when we're talking about careful with shunting signals. Yeah. That one is a shunting signal as well as a shunting service. You are not pass the signal without yeah, proper permission actually, because this is the equivalent to a Halt für Rangierfahrten-Tafel in Switzerland. That is sometimes quite tricky as well on those shunting missions. Are we out? Not yet. Go via, so there will be a lot of go via now. And it is still 20. I can look as often as I want. Hi, SEG, what is? Nice to see you on the chat for the first time. Me, there are no mistakes, only gained experience. Absolutely. Especially if you're doing the stuff in a simulator and nobody is injured or dying or whatever. Yes, I know. Actually, there is a 20 kilometers limit until we are past Kurstadt. And then we will see. SEG Waters. Yes, just downloaded this game. I'm currently doing the training models. I played Train Live game for months. This one looks a lot more realistic. That might actually be true. I've played Train Life a little bit, and compared to that, Train Sim World is definitely more realistic. At least you can play it in a much more realistic way if you want. Here's the 25. Still have to pass it with our train. And you can't wait for the VR version to be released on MetaQuest. Alright. We will see how this is all working out with virtual reality versions. Got to get back into this route. My route knowledge here has almost left me completely. Might not have played this since last Christmas special with the Jingle 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 train. So, we're going to pass the hydroelectric power plant. Here's the 30 sign. Have to wait for the train to pass it completely. As far as I know, in real life here on the right side there should be a cemetery. This is the power plant. You can see all those power lines going uphill. And later on we will pass the corresponding station, not necessarily to this power plant, but a power plant of this kind, where you can see the pipes where the water is falling downhill and creating the energy for those kinds of power plants. Maybe this is where the cemetery actually is, over here. Those rocks look actually nice with the snow. Better than the trees a bit. Actually, I forgot to use my mirrors and did not whistle for the board. Now we stop being a tram and actually start being a real train. And can go 35 if I'm not mistaken. No, not yet. Still 30. 35 comes later. So much for my route knowledge here in Switzerland. Apart from my route knowledge, where is the switch for the... for the rear view mirrors? Kind of forgot. Somewhere it is. This is the wipers. Untersax is this passing area where you can be trolled so easily when you're going downhill. Uphill it's not so much of a problem. Ah, here is. This is where the rear view mirrors are. Found it. Now I can focus on the driving. Maybe we should have switched the pantograph, huh? We started out with this one because this is the direction that we were traveling in when we first got onto this locomotive before the shunting. Well, just let's pretend that we have inflammable cargo in our first cars. So what cargo are we actually carrying? That's a good question, Theodorus. Nothing in the rear. And here it looks like some kind of aggregate or snow on coals. Let's say it's sulfur or something like this. Or phosphorus. So that we can't use the rear pantograph. Actually no, switch to select which pantograph we're using. So maybe we have to lower the pantograph, switch the cap and then raise it again if we want the other pantograph to work. Scenario did not tell us to do so. decline of 2.5 per mil. Does the pantograph rule on dangerous cargo is really written down, or is it just a suggestion? Can't tell you at the moment. Might differ between different operating rules. It might be part of the allgemein anerkannten Regeln der Technik or something like this. For this we would have to ask a real train driver who does cargo. So now we're approaching Untersax. Yeah, and so much for my route knowledge. We're limited to 30 because we are... Maybe because we are a cargo train. We will see. Later there will be split speed limits that are actually here, because here is the limit to 30. So there should be a 35 limit for non-cargo trains before that, maybe. Here starts the 30 limit for all trains. Now we're running into Untersax. There is a train actually waiting for us. Those are those Gruppenausfahrsignale, where you have to go by the position light signal to know what signal the green light, or what line the green light applies to, different from what they use on the Bernina line. We have discussed this in one of the videos. In this direction Untersax is not a thing. When coming down it is so hard to see the exit signal. Look, the pantograph got flattened out. Because multiple system background has 4, but if only one fits where we drive at one time, does that mean we still need the turntable? No, probably not. Maybe there is an exception for, if at all technically possible. And then we would just have to use the pantograph that works for us. Another limit to 30. That is actually a bit boring if we have to stick to the 30 all the time. As a freight train, I don't know why the game is doing that. Maybe because we as a train are limited to 30. But it takes a bit the fun away of adjusting to the speed limits. So Juniper has been to Arosa recently in real life. I remember him telling us. So that must be really nice to be there, especially in winter with the snow. everywhere. The clear skies. Whoosh, did you see the spark? Getting to Lüen-Castiel, platform 2. This I did, but I had no money, so I just slept in my tent in the forest. Place is pretty touristy with chic tourist price hotels. Yeah, I get this. But sleeping in the tent in the forest sounds not so super comfy, but super romantic. Was fun and scary, he says. So is that actually allowed, or is it actually illegal to camp there in the forest? So that you don't only need to be wary of the bears, but also of the Arosa park rangers. Respectively the Swiss police. So we don't have to step at Lüen-Castiel. We just run through. And then apparently there is an increase to 35. Let's see if we are allowed to go with it. Or whether we are still limited to 30 because we are a freight train. Going to St. Peter-Molinis. Here the exit signal again, right side is open, way is good, so we can just pass. Here, 30 for freight, 35 for passengers. Yeah, all good. A little bump was created by getting all of a sudden on level ground and the cruise control not accommodating for this completely, so we are just limited to 30 all the time. 20% allowed as long as nobody sees you. It's technically forbidden, so nobody goes barbecuing up there, but if you just leave before sunrise and leave no trace, you don't bother anyone, it's okay. I see. Yeah. If you don't burn down the forest, it's okay. 2.7 kilometers to St. Peter-Molinis as the crow flies. So maybe a bit longer on our snake trail here. The thing is, why... Or maybe we did get a differentiated speed limit on the first part of the incline. So driving uphill on this route is typically so much more easy than driving downhill. Because you just set your wheel to the speed that you want to go, and then you go, and you don't need to brake at all. Most of the time, at least not. Juniper says, I was intending on camping above tree line as you're supposed to, but the weather turned bad last minute, so had to improvise. I understand. Did you see this bush hanging in our way? It is weird, sometimes the foliage ends up on the overhead catenary. I've seen this on Semmeringbahn as well. Here sometimes there's a bush growing through the tunnel wall. Sometimes you have grass growing on top of the overhead catenary. Maybe they have a tool where they spread this stuff over the route and then it falls on the overhead catenary. And if it does not get removed, it stays there. Nice view of the inside of the mountain. Sorry for that. That happens if you do not deactivate. Two keywords says Theodoro, is magical and wonderland. Yeah. I am missing the snow so much this year. We did not have more than 3 ounces of snow this year. And both me and Kara the dog, we are missing the snow. AJ doesn't really. But the fog is non-stop and the car is still frozen. Yeah. Well, we don't have so much fog here. But there has been a lot of ice on the car still, yeah. I have to admit. In the early morning hours, you have some frost. It always thaws during the course of the day. But obviously you can't wait for your car to get defrosted by the sun if you have to leave. And if I have to scrape my windshield anyway, then I want snow on top of it. So now we're getting closer to where we have to stop. At platform 2, they say. That means we're not getting a red signal at the entry. Most probably. Entry signal is green. Constant flanging. Now we get a warning. Let's see if our Integra Signum reacts to it. It does. Yellow light and the beep. We stop here. Always be careful. The spatting point is here. At the moment, actually, the signal is green. Turn to green. Uncouple 4 vehicles. We just uncouple our vehicles here. You sure? Okay, if you say so. And we uncouple our vehicles in the middle of the station. Now we have to shunt around a bit because we are supposed to leave the wood cars here, right? Now we've got a green one, not only a shunting clear, but a high green. What's wrong? Why did we get... Oh, vacuum line. Drained here. Just from uncoupling? Where's my remote? We're shutting down. We need some vacuum in our main line. May. Seen any ICE on ice yet? Well, we have seen an ICE scraping off the ice of the overhead catenary. That was a nice sparking and arcing experience. So what's wrong with my train? What did I do? I uncoupled. And now my brake is dead. Why does my brake not release? After uncoupling. Now it's kind of filling again. Turn the thing off and on again. Sometimes it works. Let's see if we can get this pantograph on the other side. Shall we? At least we managed to lower it. It's down. And raise. And the lower one, the rear one goes up. Alright, so this is what you do. Let's see if the brakes release now. Now they release. Now we are getting vacuum in our main line. And the brake cylinders, this is this style here. They are slowly releasing, and now they are releasing fully because we had the local brake on a bit. And as soon as this is below the 1, we can go. Yeah, but this ICE scraping off the ice from the overhead Catini, that really looks cool. That was a yellowish, greenish color of the sparks. Maybe because they were lit by a green signal. So we have to shunt out. Don't know why we have to shunt so far, but maybe we have to get beyond another signal. There is a signal that could qualify for that. You have to shunt beyond the entry signal. Oh, thank you, local brake. We have to go via location. Now we're getting back on the other track, I see. And then probably we're getting the wood cars from the other end. Let's just think, does it make sense to swap cab here? Probably not. We put Hank on the other side and drive backwards. 20%, isn't that a bit weird shunting to do during the day in regular service? What about the disruption? I see your point. So, Hank cam. So if we're only using the local, then maybe we can rely on the electric brake. It's also a bit cumbersome to shunt outside the station, to have the entry signal, so that the entry signal can send us on the opposite track. But hey, should have gotten... No, it doesn't work. If we have to push the wood cars in this siding, and there's no better way of doing it, I guess. Now we have probably to shunt. And Theodora says, I hope Hank recovered well since the last accident in Poland. Yes, we all recovered. And it was obviously not Hank's fault. And nature says that the Polish guy is not Hank. He's a different one. But no, the different one is the fireman on the Tutois. Whereas on the rear cap in our ED250 it was Hank. So we even have to go that far. Beyond we need a signal for that. Aha, we're getting draw ahead signal here. Swiss version of the two dotted the two diagonally arranged lights on the red signal. We may shunt into occupied track. And it is occupied by our own... Woof. This locomotive is such a start. So, this yellow bar here looks like a Fahrtanzeiger almost. Giving us a warning from the Integra. It's rare to get a yellow warning at the red signal. Now we should get a new warning. Again, let's try somehow to get this locomotive pushed against the coupling. The problem is that I cannot actually see how it is bounced away. The thing is, I usually would use the loco brake on and apply some power, but I cannot apply power if I have the loco brake on. Maybe with only very little loco brake on. And the coupling is so bouncy. Maybe this works. No, I cannot get power like this. Gotta practice more. The loco brake is not fast enough for me to do this without... So now I have to switch the junction. Okay, then I will have to use the proper brake. And plot to the junction. junction is it anyway? It doesn't say. It's that one. That is always a good signal, right? We had this before. This is a group exit signal that allows exit for both lines. So if we actually happen to have trains left and right, then this signal allows both to go. Where is our junction? Here, that is the one that needs to be set. And here is the lever. Oh, we were driving around without backlights. We should have done. We'd have had any lights at any rate while we are shunting. So let's have some rear lights. Maybe this qualifies for shunting. Doesn't qualify for anything. Because there is no light on. Still no light on. Our train is dead already. As soon as I leave the train, it is dead. That is weird. Probably cannot release the brakes because my this might actually happen if I uncouple without without closing the angle cocks on the brake pipe before, or the vacuum thingy before. But somehow this should be simulated, since I cannot do it, and I obviously did not do anything to the angle cocks. Can I get light on the end of the tunnel now? Still not. Not giving me a light. Well, then we have to do without. It wants me to sit. Maybe this is the dead man's pedal. What is killing my vacuum here? That is possible. It wants me to sit in the opposite end as far as I can see. Well then, let's do this. Deadman switch. There's no way to recover from the deadman switch then. Then let's switch cops. Climb up. Well, that is really a big thing to climb up. So let's remember to switch off the deadman switch thingy before we... No, only two. Before we get off the train next time. So let's hope there is no train on the left track. It also has a green light. Huh? Why do we have this? Weird. Weird with the lighting. And this here is always a nice ramp. Again, we will have to shunt beyond the signal. Probably this is why we had to shunt so far downhill with the locomotive, because it is the same stopping position that we now use with the cars. Good. And now we have to go back again. I think we can do this from here. With Hank, unfortunately, having to travel here on this car. Getting the shunt ahead signal again. Still weird why we are not getting a better lighting here. What is number 1? Number 2? Ah, there's still the warning lights on. This is the point. When I was getting my bearings, I used the switch. So, let's see how we can do this. How can we start this train if we cannot apply power before the brake cylinders are drained? We would have a handbrake to do this. Let's see if it works at all. But no. Remember how fast the handbrakes are released in SimRail. So actually, no. Aha, it is actually holding us. Getting a warning light, can you see? Well, might not have been according to the book, but at any rate it worked. siding does not have a more restrictive speed limit. Hank, everything okay at the back? Yes, Joe, everything's good. Hitting the switch now. Distant is at caution. With a bit of luck, I did not drive under this sign here, because this is the equivalent of the blue and white square sign that we know from German Austrian rules, that you must not go ahead with your electric train here. Did I do this with... Did I fully release it? Funny. Funny. Already. Come on. Wheel. Alright. So now we keep our vacuum. Good. So it was the dead man's pedal that killed the train. And now back to the front end of our train. And Juniper was very correct. This takes for ages and is blocking the whole station. This is maybe the reason why they set both lines to clear. Now we can have lights at the back of the train, can we not? Yeah, well, we have a rather weird combination of lines at the back of the train now. Now we have a Spitzensignal. Probably don't want that. Maybe the light selector on the other cab is in the wrong position too. So we have to go back beyond the signal. Open the 2D map and the switch. And the junction. That means they don't want us to walk back to the junction. Could have done this after stopping shortly after the signal. Oh no. So now we do a run around. That means we have to switch cabs anyway. Why not do it right here? That means full service here. I always would say release on the loco brake. Neutral. Cut out. Let's do the lights on the other end. It was a bit scary jumping out here. Ah, did I forget the key on the other end? Can't even. What did I do? Full service. Ah, because the wheel is not in neutral, but still in braking position. Now also the lights turned off. I wonder if I can actually fall off the hill here. Race you to the other side, yes. All the passengers are still waiting that the line is clear again. See if I can get a proper lighting here now. We can get no lighting again. Somehow I confuse things here a bit, I guess. Let's see if I can start the loco alone. No. Don't know if there is any way to prevent this traction lock to cutting in here. Aha. This way it actually worked with about 1 bars or one whatever thingy that is. So they are still shunting us in with the draw ahead signal, which is a bit weird because I thought we are actually running around and getting a green light here. That means that the exit signal is green for us. And there was actually no need to use a draw ahead signal, was there? Could have given us a proper green. This guy here is waiting for half an hour for us to be done with our shunting. On the left we have a yellow, on the right we have a green, but both position lights are open. Now we have to shunt out of the station again. Hank, you good in the second cab? Well, where are you sitting about? This is your view from the second cab. Now we're shunting back on our remaining cars. This way it is not so big a thing to get the loco started. No, 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 Joe. The signal is still red. Can't go. So, now we get an order to shunt in without the signal being lifted. So we are passing, apparently with authority, this red signal. But good thing we asked the dispatcher before we did that. And again, not the Intica signal, did I say that? The ZSI 90 system is giving us shunting 1,000 ways to city radar, yes. Well, actually, it is an interesting idea that we are shunting out all the way, that we are on the other side of the signal that cannot be used for shunting purposes anyway. Now it stops in inches. Inches before. Peist is the next signaler. We're good to go in that direction. That is good. At least we don't need any lights at the back of our trains anymore. Alright. And let's go ahead. Give it a proper kick. Yes. It is really funny. I have not really figured out when exactly I get a traction lock and when not. Because here I can kick in the acceleration with still about 1 bar in the brake cylinders. If that is bar at all in with the vacuum brakes. It is not inches of mercury, unfortunately, because I always loved this unit, inches of mercury. What did it say? This scenario lasts 1 hour and 15 minutes. Not with me shunting, as it seems. Still, we have some hours of daylight. passing Peist. Next is Langwies, and Langwies should be the one before we get to the viaduct, no? Yeah, this signal is in proper condition again. With those shunting assignments, you always get this weird both lines open group exit signal, as it seems. He is the big tower for the power lines. Is there any way to bail off the brake cylinders on this locomotive, like on the American locomotives? So that the train is still braked, but the locomotive can start applying power? There is the big viaduct. Theodore says the snow really does the heavy lifting in this route, in my opinion, compared to the usual summer old train sim world texture look. Did you turn off the fog? No, I did not turn off the fog. I guess this is scripted in this scenario that we don't have fog, and apart from that I totally agree. The snow in Arosa is just what makes it super sweet. It is nice in summer as well, so I think it is still quite unique even without snow. But you can see that it is a bit dated in the textures and everything. Still, I would always recommend picking it up. Yes, it's a scenario. What's it called? Uphill Hall. In the timetable we probably would have a queue of 3 trains on either side after our shunting. Oh, it has the Christmas illumination on the viaduct. Go via the viaduct. Still, the level crossing warning lights are flashing the wrong way around. Should be flashing alternatingly, not at the same time. And here's the viaduct with the lights on. Not for us, the increase. Now we're getting to my favorite station in Litzirüti. What is definitely the most original name here on the route. But they forgot the umlaut in the mission marker here. This is a very nice part of the track in my opinion. Alternatingly wooded areas and then some bends and curves with nice views into the upper part of the valley. So one more bend and then we are at Litzirüti. We'll actually have the distance counter climb again, I think, at a certain point. Or maybe not. Anyway, we have to get around this bend and we're there. Yeah, no, it's climbing. And now it's falling again. And Juniper says this valley is really special. It is curved like a cinnamon roll with the best part in the middle, but the path there curves around. Yeah, I would really love to see that in real life. So maybe sometime we manage to get there. Now I am hungry, he says, because he talked about a cinnamon roll. So one more passing area, the one that's called Haspelgrube. It's nice with the sun there in the background. Good thing it took us so long with the shunting, because that is now exactly the right time to be here in this valley. With the sun already low, even if it is only 1:30. and glistening through the treetops. So, pay attention a bit, because we have a passing area, and in passing areas you can always run into a red signal at the end, sometimes even without getting a warning when entering the passing area, like what we have seen on Bernina. But I think we're good. Stop at Arosa Aggregate terminal, so I think we have aggregate in our files, or whatever those cars are called. Frozen aggregate. I wonder how this aggregate gets out of this car again, if it is frozen. Frozen solid, so it won't leak through the hatches at the bottom of the car. So let's wait until spring. Yeah, I guess that's the strategy. Good thing we don't have to unload it. Maybe it just froze when the cars were standing around at St. Peter-Molinis. So, and with this wall, it's another doom wall. Unfortunately, Spectre is not here, but it actually does not look that bad as the Semmering doom wall. Maybe because we are going slower. Soon we will be passing the lake to the left. Forgot the name. It was there are 3 lakes around Arosa, right? The upper lake, the lower lake, and one lake that actually has a proper name. And the one that actually has a proper name is the one that we are passing to the left. At this funny installment. Here you can see the lake glittering through, I guess. more or less. So when entering Arosa we will be slowed down, so I have to be... Oh! That was the aggregate terminal thing. When I was wondering what this might have been, it was the thing where we were supposed to stop at. Yes. Well, then we will have to go there. RhB 1. Well, I wonder why nobody actually complains of the Swiss and Austrian people that Trainsim World is using the German signal names for their stuff. So let's pretend we did the other objective properly. And we would have stopped here somehow. Hank would have gone back to his 203 handbrakes. No, those are the cargo doors, right? But they are frozen shut anyway. And then let's see if we can get this train running again. And here's me thinking, this thing looks like a tipple. What might actually be happening there? And yeah. Yes, oh my god, Hank, the CD radar, don't confuse the handbrake with the opener. Otherwise we can only pray that it is frozen solid. But this tipple is actually not connected with the railway line, so it must be a thing to load cars. Is that enough already? Yeah, looks like it. Turn the handle to open the cargo doors. Right. So we will just see. Mind the cones. Martin Kolosek 13 redeemed honk the horn. Thank you so much for redeeming this. And now we are warning everyone because Hank is going to open the doors. Shouldn't there be some receptacle for that? Like a grid where it can fall through? Or do they want us to throw it all on the floor? Well, look, Hank, this is the handbrake, this is the opener. Ooh, here it comes. But the question remains, why are we throwing it into the landscape here? Oh, there are 5 actually. No. This one is not an opener. Thank you for completing this run. Let's see how you performed. It's actually not getting fewer on the top. Well, at least even with missing the stop here, we still got a plat in the middle. A hard impact. See, we got actually docked for a hard impact. Give it a good kick, City Raiders. This. Well, this is hard with this jump start locomotive to not bump into your into your coupling, especially since the loco brake shuts you down. Maybe there is a way. Sometimes it is actually possible to accelerate, and then even though the loco brake is still a bit applied. Well, would probably have to do this a bit more often, than I would be more savvy with this locomotive. Well, still nice, always nice to run up and down Arosa. Next time I know that this facility here is the aggregate station or the aggregate terminal, whatever. Whatever they are doing with the aggregate there, it is still a bit of a mystery for me, because they have this high building and now they are carrying the aggregate that we threw on the floor on top of this building so that they can let it fall on the lorries. Must be like some conveyor belt or so to get upstairs. Well, maybe someone knows. Maybe we have to just investigate it on the internet, what they are actually doing with the aggregate there. Guys, thank you so much for your support. And Juniper says rail ballast is aggregate, right? So just renewing the track. Yeah, but you're right. But why are we always renewing the track at the siding next to the aggregate terminal? Tiger, I wish you and others here very nice New Year's. So, I am sure AJ, if she might be already asleep, we wish you, everyone, Juniper, City Radar, Theodorus, Martin Kolosek, whoever is in the chat tonight, SCG, Waters, if you're still here and enjoying the game, and everyone else. Spectre, you weren't here today, but if you happen to rewatch this video, same to you. So nice to have you on my stream every time again and anew, and we wish you all the best for the new year, and hopefully see you soon and often in 2025. AJ just woke up again. Happy New Year, she says. Well, it's not the new year. We still have 2 days to go, but thank you as well. Guys, take care. All the best. Be nice to each other and enjoy what we have left of our lives on Earth. All the best. See you soon.